What up YouTube, Play-Doh Bear here, posting an updated Technomancer build. There's been a few changes since my last video, and full disclaimer, this build is actually Dawson's build. If you don't know who Dawson is, link to his YouTube and Twitch down below, and his speedrun information down below as well. He currently holds most of the solo Technomancer speedruns. Probably gonna hold all of the Technomancer speedruns by the end of the month. The kit is cracked. And this is pretty much the build that he uses for solo, carries, and his speedruns. This is a one build fits all scenarios kind of situation with the build here. So let's go over the details. Your primary gun is going to be the Earthborn Renegade's Assault Rifle. Nothing's changed here. Dark Sacrifice Bone Shrapnel. If you can find another assault rifle, or if you don't have access to the DLC, I highly recommend crit damage, long range damage, and also Bone Shrapnel. A lot of people discount Bone Shrapnel, but it's overpowered, guys. Bone Shrapnel is what makes the 85k version of this gun better than the 99.4k Inferno seed I have on my secondary. That being said, the secondary gun is the 99.4k Inferno seed. Doesn't have to be 99.4k. This was a gift from PCF. Thank you, PCF. Running Dark Sacrifice and Brain Eater, and this is super situational. 9 out of 10 times I rarely pull out this gun, but for certain maps like Drought Palace, the 5 Elites, Dr. Detonator, Moloch, and the Paxian Blood Merchant, being able to not have ammo being consumed from Brain Eater is very clutch. Because in those situations, you kind of need to nuke down the boss, and ad management is secondary. So that's why I always go ahead, and if you guys have an Inferno Seed and plan on replacing a mod, replace Wrath of the Moloch, it's pretty bad. Brain Eater and Dark Sacrifice is what you want for Techno. For all of your armor gear, just like with my last video, bonus firepower, long range damage, close range damage for everything, guys, if you can. The current mods I'm running for this build is Sharp Eye and Radical Therapy. For my armor piece, Splash Boost and P-Shield. And the reason we go Splash Boost here, the main reason Dawson goes Splash Boost is to help with clearing ads when he does his speedruns. However, when you're doing double carries, clearing ads is just as important. Because to me personally, this game isn't about the highest yellow numbers, right? While it is fun to see, it's about efficiency and how fast you can clear a map in carries. While it's fun to see the single target damage, it's better to have AoE damage, just so every single map you play is cleared that much faster, which means, you know, better gold times. And for some maps that you weren't able to complete before in gold, this can help you shave off a lot of time. Now, Splash Boost comes from the Crown of the Borealis Monarch, I believe. Just kidding, it does not. It comes from the Plague Sower's Skull. You can see how much of a baby techno I am. I barely pay attention to the legendaries here. As far as the defensive item goes, I went with Perseverance Shield here because that's what the Ritualistic Cape rolled with. If you guys aren't running the Ritualistic Cape, you gotta find it. It is the best looking armor item in the game. Look at me. I look like fucking Supergirl out here, man. I swear to God, this cape adds 100% confidence and 500% ego boost. Okay? It's that simple. For my leg piece, I'm running Euthanizer and Crit Stack. Now, Crit Stack I use for carries. If I wasn't doing a carry build, I would be replacing Crit Stack with Dum Dum Bullets. If you have an armor piece that has Dum Dum Bullets, it's really, really good to replace with Crit Stack if you're running solos, because in solos, you one-shot everything, and you really don't have time to build up that crit. But when it comes to double carries, Crit Stack, night and day difference. Now, I know there's some bugs with Crit Stack. Dawson has mentioned that if you don't run Mitigation of Death as your defensive item with Crit Stack, it works a lot better. And from my testing, running P-Shield and Crit Stack, I've never seen Crit Stack never not work. For my gloves, I have Captain Hunter and Bloodlust, and for my boots, I have Icicle Storm and Toxic Lead. For the same reason we went Splash Boost is the same reason we're going Icicle Storm for that AoE clear. For maps like Boomtown, Chemplan, Frontline, and any other map, there's always going to be an instance where Icicle Storm will come in clutch to, you know, just nuke all the ads after you kill one elite or something. The only ammo regen we have for this build is Toxic Lead, and that's the only ammo regen you're going to use or ever need when playing Techno, whether it's solo or double carries. However, I do want to put a small disclaimer as far as Toxic Lead goes. It does not work that well in group play if you're not the host. So if you are joining in on a friend, use Trick Up the Sleeve because of the desync with multiplayer. Toxic Lead does not seem to proc. Now, if you are having ammo issues, I recommend either replacing Icicle Storm or Splash Boost, whichever one you prefer, with another ammo regen mod like Trick Up the Sleeve and Spare Mag. However, I feel like if everybody practices Technomancers enough and gets better with ad management and gameplay, it's not necessary. Because replacing either Icicle Storm or Splash Boost with another ammo regen mod kind of hurts your damage output in a sense, and survivability as well. Splash Boost gives you a little bit of damage, but more so than that, it gives you survivability, applying Toxic on every hit in a radius, and whenever you shoot something with Toxic, you get HP back because of your skill tree. So yeah, I think Icicle Storm and Splash Boost are amazing. I used to run a different build before Dawson told me to go ahead and give this one a shot, and let me tell you, night and day difference in carries. They feel a lot easier, they feel a lot smoother, but again, it's heavily reliant on being able to ad manage properly, being able to hit your critical shots properly, okay? If you're having a hard time with ad management and hitting crits, I honestly recommend going Toxic Lead plus either Spare Mag or Trick Up the Sleeve to help with that ammo management. That being said, let's go ahead and head over to the class tree. This is very, very simple. I'm not going to go over it at all. I'm just going to mention one thing. I go max HP here. However, some people like to run CDR for the turret and blighted, but I feel like that's unnecessary, only because of the fact that if you lose blighted, you're kind of screwed anyways for 40 to 50 seconds. An extra 15% really isn't going to make a difference, and your turret's already on a low enough cooldown where you can spam turrets before that damage bonus expires. So that's why I go extra max HP. I do sometimes switch it around and really don't notice a difference that much, so this part of the class tree is really not that sufficient. We're back real quick. This is totally my fault. Scuffed streamer, scuffed YouTuber. Totally forgot to go over the skills that I use, which is Cold Snap, Blighted Rounds, and Blighted Turret. In my opinion, I believe these are the must-have 3 for Technomancer if you're running Firepower Blighted Round Technos. Cold Snap is mandatory in my opinion, because coupled with Icicle Storm, it provides great utility, defense, and that extra boost to damage. Cold Snap will get you out of so many sticky situations. Without it, I guarantee you most runs will probably end in a death or be like 30 to 40 seconds slower if you care about time. Blighted Round for obvious reasons, and Blighted Turret for obvious reasons as well. There are builds that use Fixing Wave and Scrapnel. However, I only utilize those builds if you're doing speedruns and you already have another Techno, or doing Eye of the Storm for that single target damage. Like I mentioned earlier, single target damage isn't that important as long as you're able to clear the map faster. Efficiency greater than single target damage. That being said, we're at the end of the tutorial part of the video in terms of gear, class tree, and the skills. So let's go ahead and go over to the cracked gameplay that I promised of Dawson's run here with this build. Before we actually go to that cracked gameplay, I did want to mention that I will be planning future videos. Another one that I have planned is a full intensive guide on Trickster, which will take some time, but it'll go over everything like a starting out build slash budget build that I made an infographic for a few months ago, as well as a Embalmer's Rage slash knife build and a Dark Sacrifice and Time Rift build. All 3 are viable, the last 2 more so because it requires that Ugake Cowl. And I also am going to make a tips and tricks video for Technomancer and Trickster as well, since they're the 2 primary classes that I play. And this is just to help out new players that I see are struggling on how to play Technomancer and Tricksters correctly. Because yes, there is a correct way to play these classes to utilize maximum damage, and we'll go over that when I go ahead and make that video sometime in the future. But enough stalling, enjoy the gameplay, and I'll see you guys next time.
give you my all, then it's done like that. Remember how I couldn't stop the crime? I paid all back, this is all a lie. I couldn't move on till it started right back. One side's done, here we go again. It's hopeless. Oh, what to do on the worst days? I wish somebody could say, love you so, baby, be cool. Love you so, baby, be cool. Love you so, baby, be cool. Sometimes I forget it, and then I regret it. All of the time I wasted. Remember that you can make it on your own. You know what to do, knew it all along. You gotta move on and start right back. And one size, oh no, never again, it's alright. You know what to do on the worst day. I wish somebody would say, love you so, baby, be cool.